life.
What's good, everybody? It's your gearhead, Mr. Logic, and make sure if this is your first time, you hit that like and subscribe button. Allow me to introduce my lovely co-host.
Can I get a woo, Lewis? Woo! Hi guys, it's your girl. I meant on the keyboard, but
There we go. That sounds more presidential than anything.
Hi guys, it's your girl Nate. How you doing?
You know? And we also got Lewis on the one and O's.
Yeah.
Moment of silence for our boy, Rodrian. The man's been pulling in mad time. He's not able to make it to tonight's show. Boy needed to catch some Z's like it was, beef.
All that work.
As he's recovering, we gonna keep it extra funky with y'all today, yo. And as you know, this is one thing for sure, two things for certain. Woo! So
love it.
Before we get in, let me tell you, shit is crazy, yo. Shit is crazy. It's been a wild week. So as we follow tradition, how was your week going by so far?
Hold up, let me look back at my memory bank because
Ooh, that much?
No, sometimes I just dissociate and I just forget. Like, I just don't be doing nothing but work. Sometimes I feel like, because the thing is that I work and I go to school, but I'm also in like this club.
Oh,
this like marketing club.
Speak about that, because you were telling me about that. So let our viewers know what you're going into. Maybe they might be interested and hit us up on the inbox and shit. So tell them what that's about.
Okay, wait. So I was telling Jason, today's Friday, 2 days ago on Wednesday, because I'm a part of this marketing club at FIU called AMA. More specifically in this RC, just called Wearing Concepts. We basically offer free marketing services to business owners, small to medium-sized business owners.
You hear that, guys?
And so
opportunities knocking.
Yeah, you have to obviously go directly through the right channels, but and so my team, we are tasked with, basically revamping RC's, like, the Instagram, its reputation, because after COVID hit, obviously a lot of shit kind of went sideways.
Yeah.
So that's basically like my team's job. I basically told Jason, I'm like, hey, if you know any business owners that's willing to sponsor us, any updates?
Oh, so before I let you continue, I haven't reached out to Alex yet.
Okay.
But I got my barber, I got my boy's shop, I got does it, just to give clarity to our viewers, does it have to be like a storefront? Could it be like somebody doing it in their house? Does it just has to be a valid actual LLC business, correct?
I mean,
can't be on some low, I do it in my backyard and I do that. It has to be legit, I would imagine.
Well, we work with nonprofits, for-profits, businesses that are basically up and running, tattoo art. This semester we're doing like tattoo artists.
We could do Ralphie churches. At where I got my tattoos. I know he'll be interested in that.
Yeah. And like, honestly, for we're not even asking for that much because we have almost to no budget this semester. And it's like, if we want to market certain things to either the students at FIU or to like anyone in general, it's really hard to do it when you have no budget. Because it's like, okay, like we can sacrifice our time, but like, what about things? Because then at that point, it's like, then it has to come out of our pockets. And it's like, just a big old, So definitely keep me updated, Jason. That's what I've been doing this week.
I got
my little side hustles.
Hustles, your little endeavors.
I'm just trying to graduate, you guys.
Hey, you will. So let me ask you something. What's happened this week that's like has anything shocked you or like new growth development, something that's intrigued your mind this week? Anything like that?
So
let's get spicy.
Okay, so one thing in particular. Okay, it's something spicy. My life is spicy, you guys. One thing in particular, because there's within the club that I'm in, there's 4 separate groups. Those groups each have their own business that they are working with. And so I was supposed to be in one particular group, But when we showed up for like orientation, I don't know why I went to like another group, and that's the group that I'm in. And so like the E-board members called me out on it, but like in a respectful way, like, oh, technically we're supposed to be here, but since you're doing such a good job, just stay here. And I'm like, was it really my fault? I don't believe it. But honest mistake, honestly. I didn't know any better. I didn't know anyone's names. But that's about it. I take everything, ask my mom, I take everything like, I don't know if this is the right quote, but like with a grain of salt. Like I just told my mom, bro, there's no need to be stressing. Like, cause I'm moving houses and my parents are really stressed about it. And I'm like, okay, I know moving can be stressful, but I mean, it's our landlord and our house is kicking us out, so we gotta move somewhere else. And in this economy, you guys, oof, it's been rough. It's been rough.
It's hard.
But either way, we're moving. I'm moving.
How does that make you feel? Like, so how long were you at this house to begin with?
5 years.
Ooh, that's quite a while.
I mean, my last place was like 12 years.
And how's your little sister handling that? Is she gonna have to change schools?
No. My parents worked really hard to try to move in an area where it's like still semi close to the school. Yeah, my parents, especially my dad, he really does not want to move. Like, yeah, even if it's like North Miami, he doesn't, because he wants to keep her in the same school. I'm like, you know what? I feel you. Me, on the other hand, I don't care. I personally embrace change. I don't always like it. Sometimes I do, but change is inevitable. And in this life, you have to go with it, because I'm not going to be sitting around complaining. And like, I mean, I probably will complain a little bit.
Well, you know what I always say,
that's
right?
Life.
You could always complain as long as you're willing to do something about it.
Exactly. Which is what I do, because like,
you got shit.
I'm not going to make myself miserable.
Yeah.
I've developed a lot of I don't give a fuck attitude. Like, if shit happens, I'm just like, okay, like, I'll embrace it.
Where did you learn that from?
I mean,
because you technically you are the one at the group who's like Mama Goose. You're always thinking of positivity and doing things accordingly without, stepping on toes and making sure everyone gets along. So where did that come from? I'm just curious.
Does it go hand in hand, or is it like a weird combination to have as a person?
It depends on the individual. I think it's normal. It's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Right.
Some days you in the mood. Some other days you're like, fuck these people.
Okay, let me be honest. So, like Jason said, I've always had a very upbeat attitude, stayed very positive. But one thing that I really did struggle with was putting my foot down and like defending myself. If somebody else had a stronger voice than me, I would just like stay quiet, because it's like, I can't beat this person. This person knows what they're talking about. And even if they're lying out of their ass and telling them a squirrel flew out of their ass, I'd be like, oh wow, okay. Like, I wouldn't be fazed. Deep down, I'd be like, a squirrel can't fly out of your ass, but okay, go off. Like, I wouldn't call them out on it, because that's just the type of person that I was. And eventually I got sick and tired of it, because I just
it does nothing for you.
It does nothing for you. I grew sick and tired of being super complacent and not standing up for myself. Mm-hmm. And now it's gotten to a point where it's like, if even anyone like talks to me the wrong way, I will give attitude back. And I've had to work on that.
When you say you give attitude back, like, do you match their energy, or do you come like in a condescending way? Like, how do you usually handle that?
So the best place that I could possibly give an example is at work. Because in my day-to-day life, I don't really go out of my way to talk to anyone. Like, I will if I have to, but like, I talk to you guys and my friends, my boyfriend, my family, and then like strangers
and your dogs.
And my dogs. But at work, no, even my dogs. My dog, I come home and they're barking at me. And I'm like probably the only person that they bark at. And I'm like, who the fuck are you barking at? Not me.
You know what you gotta do?
I give you loves and kisses and cuddles, and this is how you treat me. And then they stop barking, and then they just like want cuddles.
You gotta yoke them up, tie their feet together, and then basically put water over their face and waterboard them, show them who's boss. Make them your bitch. I'm joking. I would never do nothing like that. Listen, I might have this shell where I'm like intimidating and whatnot, but animals truly make me happy. And
you literally say that with the straightest face ever.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean that, and it's not just dogs and cats. I mean cows. I mean tigers. Like, Have you ever felt with a cow? Like they're sweet animals.
Ooh.
Scary cows.
Oh yeah.
Like they're sweet animals.
I've heard of that.
So
pretty much, yeah. So like I just grew this I don't give a fuck attitude because I just got sick and tired of it. And like I told myself I have to start defending myself. I have to start loving myself and like being independent, this and that. And it's gotten to the point where sometimes like I'm at work and sometimes customers like what I can't deal with sometimes is stupidity or like people who don't have common sense. So like, if you come up to me and I'm just like,
common sense is a sense that's not common,
bro. But like, I don't know. It's just hard to explain. And my supervisor, he's like, I've noticed that you give attitude and you got to work on that. And I'm like, I know. But he says that out of like constructive criticism, the bottom of his heart.
Constructive criticism.
I definitely have worked on it because guys, let me fucking tell you, I had this like life-changing moment in customer service. So I visited my brother in Jacksonville and we went to Publix and I was so excited to get a chicken tender wrap. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna fuck this up. It's gonna be so delicious. And it was my favorite. And I was in line to get it and I ordered it. And the guy was building it and he's like, damn, I'm sorry. We actually ran out of chicken tenders. I'm like, no. I was really sad.
What, Mickey D's?
Publix.
Oh yeah,
that was so sad.
But here's the thing, that's one of your most popular sandwiches. How the fuck do you run out of that?
I don't. Whatever.
It's like Popeye's running out of chicken. You're like,
bro,
that is literally what you sell, and you run out of that. That's absurd.
But let me tell you, after he said that, I'm like, damn, okay. Well, what other options do you have? And he kind of gave me this blank stare and straight up told me that he doesn't know. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, so you don't know what options you have. I mean, I know you guys have ham, but like,
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
When you feeding for what you want what you want.
I don't know. But like he might have other choices. And he told me he didn't know. And then he gave me this face like, are you kidding me? Like, are you stupid? And he like pointed back. I looked back and it was like the Boar's Head brand that of ham. And at that point I realized, okay, he's making me feel stupid. And I like, what the fuck? You know what? I don't have to deal with this shit.
Did? Well, you're a pretty girl. You'd be like, oh, there's nothing you can do. I bet you that boy would have fried up some fucking chicken tenders and got it right away.
No, let me tell you, I am not taking that risk because then like,
well, you scared of rejection?
Who the fuck am I to be doing that? Like,
man, use your pretty privilege, yo. That's a real thing.
I mean, I know that I'm pretty, but like, who the fuck am I to purposely use my pretty privilege? Like, so like, can I please have this or whatever? Like,
yeah, sometimes
some people aren't stupid. They know what I'm trying to do.
Play the game. You gotta be like, so you don't have any more? Is there any chance? Are you guys gonna make some later? I really, really could use that sandwich.
Nah, I ain't got no Riz. I can't pull that off.
That you consider that Riz?
I mean, kind of. I guess.
Well, again, you go against the grain. You're in a league of your own. You're not like most other girls, so I'll give you that.
But he almost made me cry because he made me feel so stupid. He was like, I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, you know what? Just forget it. You can just throw it away. I don't want it anymore. And I just walked away. And there was a line behind me, but it's like,
yeah, he fucking ruined the experience.
He was fucking rude and an asshole. And I was walking around Publix with my cousin and I just told him, wow, that was really shitty. Because he doesn't speak that much English. So I told him like what happened. He's like, damn, that sucks. And I'm like, and in the car, I had to put my sunglasses on and I was just like shedding a tear. I was like, this, because I get emotional, you guys. Felt so shitty. And I was like, and then I'm reflecting and I'm like, wow, is this how customers feel sometimes when I give them attitude? But I don't give them attitude on purpose. I defend myself and it looks like I'm giving attitude because it's like, who are you? Like this one lady at work straight up told me, she's like, okay, I want to do this transaction. Okay, I got you. And I'm trying to confirm with her what she wants because it's your money. I'm not going to fuck it up.
Validation and shit.
And she was like confused. She's like, oh my God, yes, like I told you to do that, this and that. And she's on the phone with her friend and she's literally like, oh my God, esta niña. Como que es nueva. Like this girl is new. And I turned around to her and I'm like, señora, yo no soy nueva. I'm not new. I'm not a new employee. And she turned white. She was like, oh, I'm like, you're literally talking about me on the phone, like if I'm not here. And you really shocked that I told you.
And she said it in Spanish?
Yeah, this whole conversation was in Spanish.
Well, that happens. And a lot of times they don't think you speak the language and then they talk that shit. And
no,
when
because
you respond.
Right. No. But in this case, I told her, I'm like, señora, no me falta respeto, por favor, porque estás hablando de mí como que si no estoy aquí. Like, you're literally talking about me like if I'm not here on the phone.
You got patience.
And then she's like, no, I'm sorry, this and that. And I'm like, that's the kind of shit I won't tolerate. I'm here providing a service for you, doing things for you, and I'm happy to do it. But if you like start playing dumb, giving me attitude, condescending, or telling me, no, I want it this way, I'm like, first of all, check yourself, because you're not talking like that.
This.
And that's my problem, because it's like, I don't want to tolerate that.
No, I'll say it like this. Proverb words, right? Anger is self-punishment for other people's mistakes. Always follow with that. It's not your fault, it's their fault, and it's their problem. So the moment you allow it to, and I'm contradicting the shit out of myself, but oh, well, thank you. But yeah, anger is self-punishment for other people's mistakes. My week was actually pretty fucking crazy, let me tell you.
Cray?
Yeah, again, thankful to wake up, got a roof over my head, a family that loves me most of the times, you know what I'm saying? I got good people. So as you know, I do auto tech work and whatnot, and lately, man, it's not that the jobs are getting harder. I'm 6 foot. Like today, I had to do an alarm.
Yeah, you tell him, Jason.
And it's like, bro, like it's hard. I don't know if it's my age. It's just to get underneath the steering wheel and to configure things. And I am the type of person, I love to do such a good job. I want it to work and I want it to go off well, but it kicks your ass. And then I did the event at Boas at the My Zone.
How did that go?
It was actually dope. It wasn't nothing major in the sense it was really more family oriented because, it was Miles' birthday.
Oh,
Happy belated, homie.
Happy
belated.
What
I'm saying? Woo. And it was definitely dope, man. It's a great opportunity to network and talk to people and disconnect.
You're dressed up like those Men in Black people?
Nah, I dressed up as a Punisher, so I had my.
Do you have pictures?
They do. I had my. I was wearing a tank top. I put my bulletproof vest underneath. Then I put my black shirt and I wore my cuts, my motorcycle cuts.
Did you have an earpiece?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
The Secret Service type of earpiece, and then also I was wearing my Timbs. It was heavy. I haven't worn that shit in a long time, so I'm like wearing 30 pounds worth of fucking gear and shit. So it was a little crazy. But as you guys know, we have a great conversation for y'all and a topic of debate to talk about. So I'll be introducing us into it. One of the biggest things that we talked about on the other day, and I put it on social media, allow me to go through my phone and read it to you correctly. Because it was one of those situations that, you see relationships going on. And one of the biggest factors that could either make a relationship or break a relationship is finances. You know what I'm saying? You ideally want to be with somebody who's financially straight and, knows what the hell they're doing for the most part, even though 9 out of 10 times it's not always like that.
I feel you.
Unfortunately, So this is the question, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to get your input on this.
Okay.
So it goes, okay, ladies and gentlemen, you are in a healthy relationship. You're financially solid. They or you propose to them and they say yes, or you say yes. Before you go any further, you ask your husband or wife to sign a prenup. They ask you to sign one. Are you doing it? And why? And do you think it strengthens the relationship or hurts it? And also vice versa. If they propose to you, especially because you're a woman, if you're with somebody traditional, he asks you to sign a prenup. How would that make you feel? And why? Okay,
so I think we had mentioned this briefly, not as a topic, but just like as a side, convo in a podcast, probably like a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much information about it. I didn't know like the whole gist of it until recently. I watched some videos, caught up on some information. And it turns out that in a contract for a prenup, you can add clauses to it.
Yeah.
And in cases like, for example, me and my boyfriend, let's say we get married, I guess you could say we're
when.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
You gotta manifest that.
Semantics. We're, I guess you could say, career driven or would like to, kind of head towards there. We're pretty modern couple. I like if he straight up says, okay, like sign a prenup, I'd be like, okay, I wouldn't be upset. I'd do it. I would, make sure we review it, add some clauses that could like, benefit us, so that way like none of us are, left high and dry in the end. It like, God forbid it happens. But in cases where women, for example, are the stay-at-home mothers and wives.
Traditional sense.
They don't work. In cases like, let's say they get divorced, they don't have money. The husband's money is the family's money.
Yeah, they rely on him 100%.
Exactly.
In most cases.
If they get a prenup and they get divorced, she's left with nothing. And I think that's absolutely absurd, because it's like, okay, you love this woman and you want to get married and you want to have children, but you don't want her to keep any of your money if in the case of a divorce. And she's here being a stay-at-home mom. Is a 24-hour job.
But what
it's
about
not
if
as
she's
easy.
Not as, okay, so let's
but
update it.
I mean in those specific cases.
No, I understand.
It's a case by case.
So let's vamp it up. Let's make it modern.
Okay.
You work, he works.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now, the reason why, to break it down to give a better understanding, you understand the full functionality of a prenup, right?
More or less.
Okay, so I'll educate you guys. A prenup is pretty much insurance. That's really all it is. And it's not, at least in my opinion, it doesn't mean the person loves you any less. It's a precaution because shit happens.
Right.
No matter how perfect it comes out, shit can hit you from a block away. You know what I'm saying? Usually problems come on an idle Tuesdays. You can't control them. They just land in your lap.
Yeah.
So a prenup is a way to protect yourself. It doesn't mean they don't get anything, but you have to understand in the state of crisis that we are now when it comes to dating and marriages, already women, as we know, and 70% of the time initiate divorces. Not only that, if say we're married, right? You divorce me, you'll have access to my 401k, you'll get access to my pension. You know what I'm saying? You take the house. Like, it's catered to accommodate women to a point. It's almost like it's handicapped. So if I may, I'm going to read some of the responses.
Okay,
and the responses that I read, I would love to get your feedback. Let us know how you feeling in the comment. I was actually surprised with some of the response. So my homegirl, pretty much, let me see, wrote, nope. She said she wouldn't sign it. We are rich together or poor together. Relationships are built on trust 100% if you don't trust. That was one response, right?
Okay.
The other response I got was the Florida judicial system default is geared to protect women, not men. Another response I got is say yes and protect yours. You can update as well. That's another thing. You can always modify the prenup. My other boy, he's married. He's like, if she's with you when you weren't shit, she better not ask for a damn prenup. Fair enough, because remember, it goes both ways. Because what a lot of times happen, you could propose to a woman, you know what I'm saying? You're financially good, so we see, but she'll make you sign a prenup as well. It doesn't always have to come from the person proposing. It can go either or. Another response I got was, yes, it doesn't make the bond stronger. In fact, I believe it will cause a sense of doubt of the relationship. I want us to tackle that when we come back to that, okay?
Okay.
Another response I got is from my brother that was here the other day, my boy Giancarlo.
Oh yeah.
If it's healthy relationship, the prenup convo would have been had long before the proposal. True. This is where you have to know your partner and actually talk to him and make sure you guys are on the same page. So I agree with him on that one. Another one I got, which I'll read it to you guys right now. Like these, mind you, this is a mixture of both male and female, right? So my homegirl, love you, mama. She said, here I go. So yeah, I signed a plea. I'll sign a plan. I'll sign, but the plan isn't to split up and take money. If I'm marrying them and we're together, we make money together starting that day, and we split if we do break up. I would only be entitled to what we made together in our marriage, but not keep your shit. Meaning, like, whatever you had existent, she's not entitled to. She only feels like if you do break up and, you know, the money that you guys put together and the, you know, the business ventures and portfolio you build, she is entitled to half to that. I strongly agree to that personally, if I'm going to be completely honest. My other homegirl, KK, basically said this. I was actually surprised by her response. She's like, if either of us becomes extremely successful, I want them to know I'm in love. I'm with them for love. I'm not there for money. In a relationship, of course, bills are split and we have to share money. That prenup comes in the rare chance we split, which I strongly believe what they have worked for should be theirs, and what I have worked for should be mine. If a relationship is strong enough, there's trust. And there's trust. A prenup doesn't mean, oh, I don't trust you or I think we're going to break up. No, what it means is I'm with you for the simple fact that I love you. And I feel confident that what we're working on will never be taken away from you. And I agree with that. I really like that response. So I asked you that because, as you know, we hear all these horror stories, especially what's going on with celebrities. Look at the whole situation. What's the Scottie Pippen, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a famous, and even though I dislike him, Drake put that quote regarding Kobe when he was basically getting taken to court by his chick. May he rest in peace. Bitch, you weren't shooting with me in the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's like you weren't in the trenches. And a lot of times, being that women are the ones who usually are the ones who start divorces, it seems like that's what they're at. And that's where I say it's a handicap match. And with a prenup, from what I was taught, a prenup is in case shit happens. There are no guarantees in life. And in my opinion, for anyone who disagrees, you have car insurance doesn't mean that you're going to get in an accident. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I saw this video on TikTok. It was like a story time of by the way, that snap you guys heard was Jason and Lewis passing the vape.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Nope.
Yes, it was.
Da-na-na-na.
Dun, dun.
Da-na-na-na. 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 Da-na-na-na.
Anyways, so be on the lookout every time you guys hear a snap in the background. Just know they're passing the vape.
Well,
Anyways.
I got to make it worth it because I made that deal with you. If I fucking end up smoking another, I got to sit on another man's lap for the holiday season. It ain't happening, cuz.
He did. Anyways, okay, it was a story time.
Yeah.
And this lady walked up to this bartender at the bar and she was like, hey, my husband comes here a lot. And he's this guy. And she's like, oh, yeah, I've recognized him. He does come here a lot. Okay, well, he's broke. I make all the money. I'm the breadwinner. And I think he's been cheating on me. But we have a prenup. And I need to prove infidelity so I don't have to pay him any alimony. And the bartender was like, I got you. I'll do all the proof. And in the end, the bartender didn't need to like show the proof because he had gone to another bar and done some scandalous shit. Okay. And there was proof of him cheating on his wife and he didn't get any alimony because of the whole prenup thing. And so I was like, damn, like that's like, I don't know why people get so upset about when your partner asks you for a prenup because it's like you said, it doesn't prove that they don't trust you.
So if your man asks you to sign a prenup, you're signing.
Yeah, we'll draw one up. We'll be like, okay, in case something happens, because he's inherited money. You know, I mean, family members, they pass away. You know, in case you're a beneficiary, you inherit money.
Or
like
in my case, I got money from my accident.
Exactly. You know, you get up same as him. You get into an accident. You know, you get money out of that. Like that's not something I deserve. Like that's something that happened to you. Like. But you inherited. If it's, you know, our money, like, you know, we work or, you know, something that we build on, if worse comes to worse, like you like in the prenup, you can put a clause, I won't get any of the money you inherited out of, you know, family or accidents. Just stuff that like we build, or like in cases where couples are very successful and they run their own business and they want to keep their business separate from their partner. Like that's reasonable. Like you've worked hard for that business and your partner didn't put any effort into it. In cases that they didn't, I mean, because there's cases that they do.
Well, I know couples that have been together for years and they're like, nah, fuck it. I don't need a prenup because I trust her. And I think that's what really kind of hits to the gut, especially when it comes to your partner. I can see how it can make you feel uncomfortable because you might take it as, oh, well, they don't trust me. I would never do that.
But you can edit it to a way where it benefits both of you because there are also cases where, you know, like this lady, she received money from her husband out of the divorce, but only in certain accounts, like accounts that he had, like, it was a Reddit story and this girl ended up giving her husband like like most of her money,
Mhm.
but because she kept some of her assets like super separated in like different accounts, like her fund money, I guess what people like to call it, was like a vast majority. And she kept some in like accounts that they had together. And that's the money that some of he kept. And I'm like, that's so smart. Like this is what I'm telling you guys. Like it's like you can edit this contract. It's not as negative.
Well, there was a woman who won the lotto, right?
Mhm.
And as she won the lotto, she divorced her husband and she lost every cent of that lotto because during the whole proceeds of the divorce,
Oh my
she
God.
hid that from the lawyers and the actual husband she was divorcing.
No way.
And what the judge did was because you lied and you weren't honest, he required her to take all her winnings and give it to him. He took her for everything.
Oh my.
But in my
What?
opinion, she deserves that.
Oh wow.
You get what I'm saying? Because mind you,
that's insane.
Even the prenup was signed and you violated the contract by not lying. I think where it becomes almost taboo is people, especially in our era in 2023, people are not here for love. They're looking for benefits. And naturally, by selection, women do what? They look for a man who could provide, protect. They look for a person they could survive with. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, especially, I think I speak for most men, it doesn't mean we love you any less. But because we see so much examples of what can go wrong, it is vital that you do it because that's the only way to get yourself out the hole. Can you imagine? Like, I put down on the house. I asked you to move in. We break up. Now you feel entitled to half my house? Like that's some scary shit.
Of course.
And the way the court system's rigged, that's what they do. They literally pin it against men. So I want to ask you this, being that, you know, it's independent. You got your school going on. You got everything going well for you. Say you're the one who asked your man for a prenup and he says no. How would you go about that? Does that mean the relationship's over, that you can no longer move forward with him? How would you go about that?
No.
Because some say
says,
some feel the relationship is over.
Why would the relationship be over? I would ask him why based on his response. Like in the case where, okay, fine, like we won't get a prenup. That point moving forward, I'll just be careful with like my finances. Like I'll keep accounts like my savings. That's like strictly for me. You know, like I you know, because once you're married, you know, the money's the family's, it's yours. So like, okay, the joint account, like we'll pay all the bills. Like the house is ours. So we gotta pay, you know, streaming services, the light bills, water.
Is it all yours because you put down, or is it yours because say you with this man?
Right.
Say you with him for fucking a decade, 10 years. You know, gone through so much shit with this man, held him down, and just happened to come to the end. Do you feel because of the effort you put into the relationship and all the sacrifices you made, you're entitled to that? Truthfully speaking, would you feel entitled to the things that he has? Not because, you know, you're being a bitch, but because of it's almost like the Ike and Tina Turner, how she kept his last name, went through hell and back with this individual. Do you feel that being entitled to his property and the things he has is a way to make things right for the foul doing and wrongdoing that he did towards you? Because some women look at it like that, like, yo,
no, right, I get you.
I birthed your children. I done well by you. I never done anything wrong. I deserve this for the inconvenience you put me through.
I understand. I definitely do.
So you don't think they're wrong for that?
To be very honest, I've never been to that situation, you guys. So it would be very hard for me to agree or disagree. Everybody goes through shit in life, and you go through shit with your partner. You know, you sacrifice all your time, your love, blood, sweat, tears. You raise a family together. You know, like, I don't know what's going on in their household, like what their relationship is like. If one partner
you can only speak for yourself.
If one partner is demanding, like, no, like I deserve like this property or this much because I put so much time and sacrifice and this and that, and it's like, who am I to like? I don't know.
Okay, so
all I know, all I can say is that, you know, thinking about getting a prenup would be pretty smart because
it's an insurance.
Because what if, like, you know, like we get a divorce, not because we stopped loving each other because shit happens, or maybe like legally we're like, you know what, we're still together in spirit, but legally we got a divorce. You know, shit happens. in the prenup, you can put, okay, because he has properties that he also inherited. So I'd be like,
Mhm.
okay, you keep your properties. You inherited those.
Mhm.
I would feel shitty if I took those away from you. That should
Well-
stay in like at least that side of the family.
Let me spice it up.
And then I would keep my properties for like my family.
God forbid, say that you with him for years, the man cheats on you.
Oh, that bastard.
Are you gonna go after that, or are you just gonna leave quietly?
I'm gonna put that in the clause. I'm gonna put a clause in there. Be like, if you cheat
No.
on me,
What I'm saying is, no prenup. Y'all just married.
Oh, okay.
He cheats on you, dogs you out in a disrespectful manner. Are you going after him? Truthfully speaking.
I'm not going after like his properties or like some of his money. I mean, I'll probably ask for depending on my situation at that time. If I'm good and I'm well off, I'm not gonna need it. But I'm petty as fuck, and I'm not gonna go after like his money or houses if I'm doing well at that moment. I'm gonna hit him where it hurts. I'm gonna cut his dick off.
Oh,
you guys,
okay, Miss Lorraine the Bobbitt over here, because I find
I stoop that low.
I find it that what ends up happening with a lot of women is a woman scorned has a vendetta against them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. That's why I say don't shit where you eat. You know, your partner is your partner. That's your best friend. So you also got to be mindful. Like me personally, who owns a business, who has multiple investments and portfolios, I feel like it would be vital for me to get a prenup.
Oh, for you, for sure.
You know, well, yeah, because you know my situation. I have to get a prenup because at the same time,
I would hate to see you lose everything. And even if it's a case of like, okay, both of you are, you guys understand. You're like, we're in an agreement. You stuff, that stuff. I don't know what lawyers do in that argue. Maybe you lose everything out of default, like whether you want to or not.
Because we'll take a step further from to a prenup. There's a lady, she goes by Blue Jasmine, and she became viral because she said that she feels her ex should pay for her lifestyle because he brought her into a tax bracket that is a different form of living. And the way she feels about it is like, yo, you got me accustomed to this lifestyle.
How do I go back?
Like, how do I go back? You should be responsible to keep me in that lifestyle till I can find somebody else.
Oh.
And mind you, in this interview, the dude is still paying her rent. They're not together. Her car note, they're not together. And her reasoning is because he introduced her. He spoiled her and put her into a lifestyle that she's not going to be able to go back, and he should be responsible for that. As a woman, how does that make you feel?
Do you see why I tell you, stop being so nice? You gotta be careful. It's okay to be nice, but be careful who you spoil, because then look what just happened.
Well,
Exhibit
mind you,
A.
he's doing it voluntarily. Would you
Right.
does that would, in my opinion, that would make him a simp? Would you view him as a simp because of doing that? I mean, mind you, she's out there dating, meeting other dudes, and at the same time, here's this dude paying her rent and her car note, and they're not even fucking together.
Damn,
that would make
rough.
him a simp in my book. Do you think that would make him a simp, or you think he just has compassion and he's just being a good person? Because in my opinion, I think he's a fucking idiot.
I mean, yeah. I think she has him wrapped around his fingers. Even after they're not together.
All right. So final thoughts on it, love.
I don't think people should get so overworked about prenups. You can edit them in a way that benefits both of you.
Modify them.
You can modify them. They're contracts. Like, you just go over them until you see like, okay, I like this. And then you can edit them in the future. If you don't want to get one, that is completely fine. People are entitled to not get one.
To their relationship. It's to each his own.
It is to each their own.
You know who Jessica Simpson is, right?
Yeah.
She was married to like that football player.
Oh, yeah.
And their prenup was if she gains weight.
What?
Yeah, she basically, if she was,
no way.
I kid you not. When I saw this prenup, I'm like, yo, you got to be fucking kidding me. His prenup is tied to where she gains weight, she loses all, like the prenup works against her. She's not able to get anything. How does that make? That sounds misogynistic as shit. Like, imagine you sign a prenup,
bro, and
the only way the prenup is validated is pretty much if you keep your promise, we're good. But if you gain weight, you're opt out. How do you even look at that? To me, I think that's cowardly and foul on his part.
¿Cómo se dice?
Oh, she went with the Spanish. Oye, mi canto. Mi corazón goes out to you.
¿Cómo se dice? I wouldn't say vain or on his part, like very like he only cares about looks. That's I don't know.
A weight clause,
but that's something that he wanted, crazy. Right? Not she wanted.
Yeah, and what's crazy is she signed it. Like,
dude, that's crazy.
Like how? I'm sorry.
What a
for
great
sicker
way.
or worse. You get what I'm saying? Like what the like that just blew my mind.
Shape.
And it's like I can't even be mad at him. I'm more disappointed in her that she even agreed to that shit. So,
do you think maybe she signed it because she thought, okay, well, we're not getting married if you don't sign this?
Yeah, that was also the term.
Mm-hmm.
And the marriage never happened, by the way.
Really?
No, they never.
They never got married?
No. So I think that she lucked out heavy. Can you imagine what it would be to deal with somebody and live with someone like that?
Oh.
So my final thoughts on it, and I tell you guys, listen, man. Every relationship you're in is going to be different from the next person. No relationships are the same. You might have similarities in certain cases, but your relationship is your investment, your time put in. Make sure every decision that you do with your partner complements both sides, but also it's beneficial where you could keep yourself above water. Because I think we've seen so many times what happened, like you were saying, where a woman, she doesn't go to school, she completely relies on the guy and he bails out and she's left with nothing. So realistically, I know prenups are important, but also at the same breath, they're not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my final thoughts. So as we get into our next topic, guys, I want to talk about finances, right? You hear all the time that, men don't give a fuck where you work or how much you make. Or say you and your man, he doesn't have shit to his name. Does that affect the attractiveness to you? Truthfully speaking. And it's okay to be honest.
I would say out of like 100%, it would probably be like 20% that
factors in.
That would factor in just because like, I don't live a fancy lifestyle, but I do occasionally like to let's go to Chili's, let's watch a movie, let's get Menchie's. I fucking love Menchie's. And like I got you. I'll pay.
Hold on, say that again. Let them hear that.
I pay. We go halvesies. So sometimes he pays, sometimes I pay, sometimes we go halvesies. The times that we go halvesies, it's like, yo, it's been a rough 2 weeks. But you're
willing to have his back and support him if needed.
Of course, which is why I only say 20%. The other 80 factors in his values in life, his morals, his personality.
So you care more about the content of his character.
Yeah. Okay. Because if he's very hardworking, what do I care that I make more than him?
It's not where he's at, it's where he wants to be. Because I feel like a lot of women, especially, and we see it all the time when we're out there and we hear the response, they want their man to make 150,000, 200,000. And ladies, I'm gonna be honest with you.
That would be nice.
The majority of y'all women saying this shit don't even qualify for a good man. You're a walking hazard. I just feel like it's become so delusional of what's expected of a man. Mm-hmm. And then it's also to put the men on blast. Y'all want a certain caliber of woman that you don't even qualify for, that you can't even handle, not in a sexual way, but more on a connective way and a mental way and a spiritual way. And I feel like we've become so detached from what's real life. So some people, and correct me and let me know how you feel, some people feel that women are actually very unaware of finances and how it really works. Allow me to sorry. Yeah, you're an exception to the rule. So allow me to explain why, right? All the time we see on social media, these women talk about, oh, you got to send me 100 because, I got to get my nails done and my hair. So
that must be nice.
The reason why I believe that statement is true, a lot of these high maintenance shorties, the amount of money that they spend to do their nails, to do their hairs, to do their facials, if they were to take that money and plant it and invest it, their life would have a night and day difference.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I bring that up, finances is I think it's harder on a male than it is a woman.
Right.
And the reason being, you have a biological clock, I have a financial clock.
Mm-hmm.
How is it, do you feel that finances is something that should be talked about right away, or something that should basically be talked about gradually as you guys get together and grow over time?
I think gradually, unless the two individuals, know their shit about finances and they're pretty good, like knowledgeable on it.
Mhm.
Okay, like talk about it in the beginning. For people who
we have a little bit of a miscommunication going on right now. Nate was fiddling.
Hello, I'm back, you guys. Okay, sorry, I I fucked around and I found out and I disconnected the microphone.
There you go.
Whoopsies. Anyway, where was my train of thought? Okay, so you can like plant seeds,
Mhm.
like here and there. Hey, like, what bank do you have? Hey, are you investing?
Mhm.
How much you make?
Well, that's another thing. Is that a deal breaker for you? If, say you got your career going on, you're making a cool 90,000, but your man is making 32,000. Does that make him less of a man to you? We're talking about you directly.
Let me ask you something. What is his job? What is he working as? Because I care about that question more than the first question you asked me.
So you care about how he's making his money, not so much how much he's making.
Exactly. Wait, I have a side note. How much do teachers make a year?
Teachers
on
in
average,
this state, average is about 60K.
So, 60.
Which is ain't shit. Mind you,
wow.
Not to go on a tangent, here's what you got to understand about teachers. They're underfunded, and most teachers from their own pockets buy supplies and things to interact with the kids with their own money. That's how fucked up it is.
No, okay, sorry. I thought it was a lot lower, so that's why I was like, no, but anyways.
If he's making 32, let's just say we're not even gonna say fast food. Let's be realistic. He's security guard at a hotel.
Okay.
And he's only making $16 an hour. Or, well, okay, let's say he's making 20 an hour.
So, okay.
And you're making six figures.
Right.
Do you look at him sideways, or would you still be willing to give him a chance? Because a lot of women out here, especially modern women, look at it as, I need a man who's on my level.
This is how I see it in my head. Okay, let's say I'm making six figures. When? Just when, you guys. And he's like making 32. I'll ask him, do you want to go back to school? Because if you can, definitely that'd be great. I got you. Or you don't want to go back to school. Okay, do you want to do something better? Like, if I have the means to help you like network and give you like these opportunities for you to like get a job that you like, even if it's not a job that's like super high paying, but in your eyes it's very career driven, like, okay, I would love to do this or that, just not security job. Okay, I got you and I'll help you do
but
that.
What about if he doesn't want to grow? Like if he's complacent where he's at.
If he's very complacent, I'd be like,
still want to engage? Mind you, he treats you right, he makes you laugh, he makes you happy, he makes you feel free.
I'd be like, do you want to be a house husband? I'd be like, okay.
So you would take that approach? You would honestly allow him to be a stay-at-home husband if you were the breadwinner?
I would. If I'm like, if we want to start a family, we want to have kids, if I'm making six figures, I'll try to get us. I got you. If you want to get a part-time or help me, like, stay-at-home dad, oh my God, the foot rubs and the dinner and the you're just imagining.
Essentially, you would be okay with him staying at home as long as he's able to cater to you.
Of course.
And okay.
Because it's the mindset. If he's trying to.
But you have to understand, a lot of women are not like that. It's like I put up a post the other day where a dude goes to McDonald's and falls in love with the cashier. That's how we're designed. Remember how I told you, women just have to show up.
True.
So the thing is, we know there's a lot of single dudes out there, but the ones who seem to be making the money, those are usually the toxic ones. So why do you think women go for that? Like, the best way to put it, you seen that post is, your man gives you $800,000 a year. But he beats on you. Are you still staying with him?
No.
And all the women in the group chat was like, hell yeah, I'm getting a Birkins bag and all types of shit.
I mean, you say yes now, but like a week later, he starts beating on you and you're like, I don't think I can like put up with this. So for a year, at least a year for you to get your bank.
Or even
I don't
like
think I could do that.
Yeah. Or the high value man. You know how they say, oh, high value man has multiple women. So say this man is making crazy amount of money. He's making 7 figures. Do you think you would put up with the fact that he's cheating, or you rather deal with a dude who makes not as much, who honestly, let's just say he's below the median of average pay? Would you be with him? The dude who makes less makes you feel comfortable. He makes you feel appreciated. Or would you naturally go for the guy who makes more money, but you're going to get neglected and not treated right? What are you doing?
Okay.
Truthfully speaking,
let's say I'm single and let's say I end up in a relationship with a guy who makes a shit ton of money. And a few months into a relationship, I find out he's cheating on me. But he's like giving me money. He's like, here, like have some money for your nails. You're
financially
for your hair.
well. Like you don't have to work. You can get whatever car you want. You can go to whatever vacations you want. But the dude who gets paid less could never do that.
Okay.
Who you fucking with?
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go to the nail salon and get my nails done. I'm gonna save the money he gave me. I'm gonna try to do my own. I'll be like, okay, this is what I did, whatever. And I'm gonna keep the money. I'm gonna save that money.
You're talking about the high value guy.
The high value guy. For at least a year. I'm gonna save it. All the money he gives me, the stuff he gives me, whatever, I'm gonna save it. Save it as much as I can. And then at one point be like, damn, I have a decent amount. And be like, deuces, because I deserve better. You know, you're willingly giving this money to me. And then I'm gonna go to the guy that you said doesn't make that much. And I'd be like, look what I got us, babe. Look what I got us.
Oh, so you're
strategize.
So essentially,
the key is to not fall in love with a high value man, because then he's fucking cheating on you, and it's like, girl, you deserve better. At least save the money.
I find it so conflicting because like you hear this shit on all the talk, like with the Red Pill channel. High value men cheat. So what do you call a broke nigga that cheats? It's the same shit.
I don't think there's a correlation. You can be rich, poor, in between. A cheater's gonna be a cheater.
What? Okay, so. Now that we're on this topic, right? We see this all the time, and it's something that's always boggled my mind. You like your guy, but he lives with his mother. Do you feel that a man living with his mother takes away from him actually being a solid man? Or do you feel that a man, in order to be successful with a relationship, should have his own place?
You see, Jason, I'm Hispanic. So a man can live with his mother for the rest of his life, and I will not think twice about how weird that is.
So you would be okay with it? I
would, because you know how I see it as? I see it as, okay, like, I mean, it's difficult if you don't get along with your in-laws. It's extremely, at that point, you're like, I want us to get our own place, because, you know, but in the exception where it's like you get along with your in-laws, you know, my significant other's, you know, mother, I'd be like, hell yeah, live with us. I love you. I don't care. Because
do you understand how rare that is? Because
but the thing is that I'm Hispanic, Jason, and that happens a lot.
But there's a lot of Hispanic shorties out here who have the mindset, he ain't shit because he ain't got his own place.
Let me tell you.
At the same time, the shorty talking shit also lives with her fucking parents.
Hold up. Oh no, okay, let me tell you. Hispanics live with their family, especially in this economy. We're sticking together. But there is, you know, the Hispanics that live with their family and they love each other, and the ones that cannot stand each other because they're just like toxic. Going back to crazy. They're toxic. And in most cases, it's like, okay, you want to move out. In my specific case, you know, if I get along with my in-laws, I'd be like, sure, like, you know, let's find a house big enough to fit all of us that also gives us our privacy. And if we start a family, my kids are closer to their grandparents, because I'm very family oriented like that. And that's completely fine. Or you know what? Like I will help the in-laws get a property that's near us so you can stay close. You know, like that's how my mind works. I can't speak for non-Hispanics who don't have that same mindset or just a culture that just like that. You know what I mean?
So I will say this, right? There's a viral video going on, and you know, like the Real Housewives of Atlanta and whatnot. Shorty, basically, how do you look at this, and do you think the way this gentleman reacted was wrong? Apparently, in the segment, that was a video that I saw, they basically had like a business storefront, and Shorty invested their savings into the business. They own 50% of it now. Okay. But the money she used was for his son's college education.
Oh my God.
And you know, mind you, Shorty's about to tear up as she's telling him. And the only reason I think she's tearing up because she knows she fucked up. Yeah. At that point, if your partner were to take your savings and invest it. Now, their mindset is like, I'm doing this for us because I believe this is going to work and generate more income. Would you still stay with that person, or is that automatically end of the relationship? We're talking $27,000 was taken for your kid's education, where you strived, you worked hard, you sacrificed, you burned yourself out to get to that. Then turns around, your partner takes that money, invests it into a business that he never basically, confronted you about or even got your blessing on. He made what they call an executive decision.
Bruh.
Is that warranted to end a relationship, or do you think that she had reason in it and that it should be worked out?
Bro,
truthfully speaking,
I'd be furious. I would be so mad because it's like, yo, talk to me. I would have agreed to invest in it, if you would have just talked to me, but like leaving me out of it I would be
and it's your money. It's not your money. It's his money that he saved for his kid, for him to go to school that she used.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Do you think it warrants for him to break up with her?
I mean, it depends.
Or that he should try to thug it out?
Look, it really depends, because if they love each other, if they really love each other, that's an oh shit moment, and it's like a huge investment risk. And it's like, okay, if let's say you're knowledgeable in like investing and stuff like that, okay, that would make things probably a little bit different. It would still be an infuriating situation to be in, because it's like, that's my money, not your money. Like, that's the money for my kid. But like, if you have no what?
John Carlos says, depends on their past decision if it continues and not align with his future plans.
That's true. Yeah, it really depends. Because if it was my case, I would be furious. And I'd be like, okay, look, I love you, but what you did was fucked up. And you're going in the doghouse, because never again are you going to fucking put your back on me like that. I don't think so. And I'm going to run that shit. I'm going to run this. I'm going to make sure we get our money back and double it, because...
But you're not bailing. You're actually going to stick with the person.
See, if I still love that person, yes, I will try to. But if we're in a constant stride, like, okay, like deep down, I'm like, damn, I don't know if it's working, but let me try to work it out. And it's like the last straw, I'm like, nah, this is the end of it. But it really just depends. He
says also, like Nate says, the lack of communication is an issue. And I agree. Because here's the thing. A lot of times, especially in this modern day and time, your partner, not all, but it seems like partners feel entitled to their man's money or their woman's money. We see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Especially for us men, ideally we like to protect, we like to provide, and give you the life that we feel you deserve. However, I think that what's overlooked is how we get that paper. It's very hard for us men. You get what I'm saying? And to me, I think if it was in my situation, the relationship's over. Because at that point, it's not about really the money of where you spent it. It's the fact that you took it away from our child to have a chance at basically bettering himself and actually having an education.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that is trifling, because you didn't make a decision that only affects you and your man. You made a decision that impacts the future of your child. You get what I'm saying? So, and then to see so many people like, oh, well, she was trying to help him build a dream. Whose dream? We see this shit all the time. So, like, and being that you're rare, you're one in a million type shit. A lot of shorties out here feel because they put up with a man, they're entitled to that. What do you have to say to women who think like that? Let's be 100. Like, speak truth. Do you feel they deserve to be alone? Do you feel like their mind is backwards? What would you say to these women who feel like they're entitled and that is their right because they're with the man? I know
nobody is forcing you to be in a relationship you don't want to be in. Okay. If you are putting up with a relationship because you feel like it has potential, okay, by all means. Like, you have a family. Sometimes you're in a sticky situation and you gotta like thug it out, I guess, because like for better or for worse, right? If you genuinely feel like the relationship is not going anywhere and you're like you're just there and it's shit and you're putting up with it, and you're like, no, I deserve all of this. What you deserve is to get out and find better for yourself, because like nobody really deserves it. But then at the end of the day, it really depends on the situation, because like I said, in this economy, like
Life's expensive.
life is really expensive. People who are in relationships and they put in work for better or for worse, if like shit goes down, you know, it's only normal, and it makes sense that people want like certain things out of it.
Gene Cole says, now you also have to think you may be taking away a strong family from this child too, through a loss of money. And I agree with him, because even though there's a disagree, you have to think about what's best for the child. It would really be shameful for you guys to split, break a home, because who does that ultimately affect? The child.
Hold up. Now that I think about it, I think the first mistake was him giving her access to that child's account.
Okay, so now that you bring that up.
Because when you set up...
He didn't give it to her, though, by the way. So they had a shared joint account, and that's how she went in and she got it.
Right. I mean, I don't know how... Look, if you set up either a trust fund, a custodian account, you know, a savings account, whatever it is for a child that's still a minor, and that is specifically for a college fund, you know, like a guardian or parent has to be on it with the minor. And if you add someone else to it, you are basically giving them access to all of that money. That was your first mistake. But I don't care if you guys are married and all it. Like, if this is money specifically for your child, the child that's not even hers, I would say just be cautious and like.
Okay, so say you have a joint account, right? You know Steve Harvey. He was basically giving advice that in order for a relationship to be sustainable, you have to do a joint account.
No, yeah, of course.
You have to. However, should it be required because the man, whether the man, say the man makes more money, should he have to put more money into that saving account more than the women just because he makes more, or should they still just keep putting the same amount? Because in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, depending on the temperature of the relationship, if I'm making more money, obviously I'm going to want to put more down, but then comes in is like, I put more than you, so I have more entitlement to it than you do. Or do you feel that they should just be putting in the same amount regardless of who gets paid more?
No. Okay, so I believe, you know, get your paychecks. Let's say the man makes $5K a month and the girl makes, let's say, $2K a month. You know, gather up all of your expenses and divide it accordingly based on the income that you are getting. So this whole 50-50 thing, you know, if you're speaking on a technicality, it's not going to work because one person is going to make more money than the other. So it's like, you know, let's say
it's handicap.
Let's say he pays the mortgage or like the rent for their place. Okay, he covers all of that, but she pays the utilities because she can definitely pay it. Let's say 1K goes to utilities, she's left with like another 1K, you know, probably to put either for fun money for both, for fun money for her, savings into theirs, like, you know, divided accordingly based on your expenses.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
What result my previous relationship? I paid the majority of the bills, you know what I'm saying? The majority of the rent, the food, you name it, vacation, I was paying for that.
Okay.
Do you feel I would be wrong to be like, hey, you know, I'm always paying for things, you should pay for that? Am I wrong for asking for that?
How much was she making? Ballpark.
We make the same.
You guys make the exact same and you're paying for everything?
Yeah.
Jason, you're spoiling her. But that's what I'm saying. You have to be careful.
But you have to be careful, but in my defense, it's the traditional mindset. And I'm not saying it always works, but we make the same. She's saving her money, and it's like, okay, you want to do things, but her mind says, well, you the man, you're supposed to take care of that. This is the mindset of a lot of modern women. You don't have that mindset. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, wait, I get you. Okay,
like, so
I hear you.
Am I entitled in the sense of
course,
should she have to at least cough up and help me out?
She should help you.
Yeah.
She should. You guys are in a loving relationship and she should want to help you because you guys are building a relationship, a future together, a family if you want to, whatever. I think, you know, the way that I see it is let's say you guys are married and you guys both make the exact same thing.
Mhm.
You're paying for everything. Okay.
Well, I made a little bit more than her, but
okay, right. The money that she makes, it's safe to say she's probably saving in her own personal account, which people are, people are definitely, they're allowed to do so.
Mhm.
But because you guys are building a future together, it's you should save some of that money as like yours money into like maybe like a joint savings
like as a pool,
as an emergency house fund. You know, so if shit happens, this is our savings.
What about if you're you're with your man, right? I know this is question day.
It's okay.
You suggest to do an open account and he refuses. Is the relationship worth to keep, or does that mean that has to end? Like your partner does not want to open an account. They don't want to basically say they want to save money, but they want to keep it separate. You save money into your account, I save money into my account. They want to do the joint thing. Do you think a relationship like that is sustainable, or do you think it has a end date, like it's a ticking time bomb? And why?
Look, because I work in banking, I have more resources and more tools to learn about finances and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. If there's ever, because there are cases where he asks me questions and he goes up to me and I'm like, yeah, like I'll find out at work. I got you. Like, well, you know, because knowledge is power.
Yes,
and if he, I think, because the question you're asking me, I know will probably never happen. It'll probably be like, no, I don't think we should. And then I'd be like, okay, like, let me educate you on why we should. And be like, oh, you know what?
But they refuse.
You're probably right.
Like they straight blatantly refuse. Is that, that hurts the relationship? Is it still salvageable, or does it have to end? Because I personally feel like it has to end at that point.
It would make things so inconvenient because if you have a joint checking in a household, like you guys are married, you know, you're these are the expenses. I have a joint checking with my mom. Obviously, it was a high school and then it converted to a college.
Yeah,
now it's just a regular checking.
But your man.
And because I was in a joint checking with my mom for like all this time now that I'm an adult, it just makes things so much easier in terms of like that account. I have my own personal checking where my paychecks go in. And then the joint checking with my mom, that account specifically, like, nothing, the only money that goes in there are the bills that I pay for like our house. And so I'd be like, okay, so we have to pay Netflix and the water bill and FPL and the internet. Okay, all of that is going into that account.
Okay.
Because in like FPL and all that stuff, our bank account, like that's the account number that is in that profile for the money to be taken out. And it just makes sense that way. And then I have my own personal savings where I move everything else. So my personal checking account, I only keep very little in there because fraud is also very real. And if somebody, and I never use my debit card because of that same reason. And if somebody were to get my account information, I don't even keep that much in my checking because I move it all to my savings.
But because I see, and again, I'm just going off on what is shown out here on social media. We see it all the time. And it's like women always consider themselves the prize, right? Ideally, a woman wants a man to take care of her, right? That's normal. That's just how we're designed. Is it safe to say if the man is basically paying more and putting more invested, he has a right to be, like, he's the lead, she has to be submissive to the fact, or it doesn't matter? She could still have, like, I'm trying to figure out the best way to put it. Like, I'm paying all the bills, I'm the breadwinner, so by default, my decision is final, like veto power. Or do you feel that's wrong? Like, if you say,
I understand the question. Okay, look. It depends if the person that pays all the bills, let's say it's the man in this case, for example, if he leads the relationship, like if he is the authority figure, you know, he is in a respectful manner, of course, you know, he's the dominant one, like, because does
that entitle him to have the final say?
I think if he feels entitled, if she respects him enough as a leader, she will follow him.
No, but by default, because he's taking the strong side, does that mean he gets the final say?
It depends.
because
on the final say on decisions,
certain decisions, not every decision. Because what I see happens a lot, women who make money, you know what I'm saying, more than the man, they feel because they make more money, they get the final say. And because he makes less, they don't have to, because they make more than him, they do not have to be submissive to him.
I'm going to go with no.
You think that's incorrect?
I think they should talk about it both.
No, talk about it, but I think that,
and then come to the decision.
Yeah, I think no matter whether the man makes less than the woman, she still needs to be submissive towards him. And I'm not talking slave way, when you know what I mean by submissive. Because a lot of shorties out here feel, oh, well, I make more than him. I'm a boss. I don't have to listen to him because he doesn't make as much as me.
Okay, what about in the case where, let's say, he doesn't make as much? You know, people aren't as lucky in this life to get opportunities to be in such amazing, successful careers. And let's say the girl makes more money by chance and he doesn't make that much, but he's very knowledgeable. Yeah. You know, shoulders very high.
Like he holds his own.
He holds his own and very knowledgeable on the things that she should be. What about in that case where he's like, okay, I think we should make this decision. And it's the smart decision because he's a very good leader in the relationship.
Okay, but because she makes more, she feels that she outranks him in that sense and that his input is invalid because she makes more.
But I think
do you think that holds weight, or do you think she's completely in the wrong for that?
I don't think that holds weight. I think what holds weight is if you know how to handle your money. Because if you make a lot of money but you have no idea how to handle it, then you're just a 5-year-old with $1 million and you're gonna buy a bunch of candy because you love candy.
So it's safe to say you think the woman would be in the wrong to think that she doesn't have to be submissive to her man because she makes more. You still think that she needs to play her traditional roles? I
think if you are in a traditional relationship, then I respect that. You can live the relationship the way you want to. If you're in a modern relationship, same exact thing. I think that if you are together in a relationship, communicate. Communication is very important. If you have to trust your partner. If you feel like your partner is more knowledgeable in things in like taxes and finance and life and stuff like that, then you trust your partner in that. But the partner that is very knowledgeable in that, do not leave your other partner out just because you're less knowledgeable.
Don't cancel them out.
Don't shut them out the light.
So yes or no? She should basically still respect them. And if she's not, so she's either wrong or right.
I don't know how to answer that question because I feel like if he makes the executive decision.
Well, it's not an executive decision. It's just what I'm talking about is just the respect aspect. Just because she makes more,
just because
doesn't mean that you don't have to respect him.
No, respect
the same way that you could actually shit on him because he makes less than you.
Regardless of money. Respect a person based on their character. Your partner
in this case.
Because of their character.
So money shouldn't be a factor that influences how much respect you have for the person.
No, of course not, because there's people who are stinking rich in this world and it's like you low-key don't want to respect them because they're so like,
okay,
you know what I mean?
Final thoughts before we go into the next conversation.
Unfortunately, they don't really teach a lot of these finance things in school. At least in all schools. I think it's something that everyone should know about because you go into a relationship, like all you see are what's in the movies.
Yeah, it's not real.
And you go in and you think, okay, it's la-di-da, and it's like, it's not. These are the important conversations you should have with your partner because if this is going to be the rest of your lives, you should want to set aside a certain amount of money to make sure everything is paid for, and then whatever's left, save it, have some fun, like, you know, and if you have that routine going, then you're set. And always be in constant communication and make sure you're on the same page. Because if not, miscommunication will lead to so many shitholes you have no idea.
Facts. Okay. So the last topic of debate is going to be about marriage. And as you know, marriage is something sacred, something that's essential. Right? When it comes to marriage, well, there's going to be a couple questions. Do you think it's an appropriate manner for a woman to propose to her man, or that solely belongs to the man to do?
I know the majority of men do not want to be proposed to. The majority. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. if you're a man and you low-key want your shorty to propose to you, fucking do it. Who gives a fuck about these other what's the saying?
Go against the stigma.
Go against the stigma. These bunch of bandwagons, sheep. Like, no, stand out. You guys wanna
do you feel
stick out like a sore thumb? You do you, whatever makes you happy. We only live this life once. Why are you gonna let someone dictate what you should do because of societal norms?
Do you think that makes him less of a man? If
no.
a woman, because some people be like, well, that's a man.
Fuck those people.
I agree with you. Don't get it twisted. I agree with you. Do you feel that a woman doing that and proposing to a man would take away his masculinity? No. In any way, shape, or form?
No, because your masculinity isn't something somebody can take away from you. It's something that you have
it or you don't.
Either you have it or you don't, and it's something that you work on building. Like, someone can't just go up and take it from you. It's intangible. So, like I said, give no fucks. If you want your shorty to propose to you, you tell her that. And if she's down,
you tell her that, or you allow her to do it. Because you can't tell somebody, yo, propose to me.
Semantics again. No, yeah, you discuss it, with your partner. Tell your girly, like, hey, like, I know both of us are on the same page about marriage. We want to build a future together. Do you like? I low-key want to be proposed to. If you feel like it's the right time, propose to me. If you want to, and she's cool with it. Cool. And then take it one step further. If you want to tell her, okay, I want you to get down on one knee, or what, I don't even want you. I want you to send me roses. Okay. If you want certain things done.
Do you require it to be like romantic? So like some people, we'll go back to a video I saw. Dude's been with his shorty for 11 years, right?
Okay.
They're driving in the car, and as she's driving, he pulls out a ring. He's like, oh, do you want to get married? Now, mind you, she goes off on him. I don't think she's wrong for going off on him, because the way I look at it is effort is everything, right? And you half-ass it. And you don't have to make it,
extravagant.
It's almost the best thing to compare it to. The way he proposed to her, to just sit in the passenger seat, not get on one knee and just pull out the ring. Oh, so do you want to get married? Is equivalent to a woman that you're trying to make love to. And then she's like, oh, fuck, get it over with.
You know
what I'm saying? That's almost like the same feeling, because it's like, if I mean so much to you and I'm the person you want to be with, why wouldn't you cater and try to make an effort to make it a memorable day
that she would like?
Yeah.
Because, I told my man, I'm like, first of all, no, in no way propose if my fingers are looking like this. I will not accept that. Or
you gotta be dolled up.
I gotta look a little pretty. Or in public. Oh my God, I swear to God.
What about if he proposes at a McDonald's?
That's in public. I'm very like, I will have a panic attack. The issue at hand is no public, because.
So you want it to be isolated?
I would prefer it if it was just us two, because if there's people around, I'm gonna be nervous and I'm gonna have a panic attack and my anxiety is gonna spike. So what about
if he doesn't like at a house party, he has a family there and he just wants
to. If our friends are there, those are different.
Okay.
If our
some
friends,
people
that's
feel
different.
like so some people be like argument, well, be happy he proposed even though he did it at a McDonald's.
Bitch, fuck you. Because I specifically gave my man instructions.
So you have talked about it.
No, we've talked about it, and he knows what I like. He knows what I don't like, and it's like, why would you like propose to your partner in a way that they don't like? They don't like it, and you still do it. That to me is mind-boggling. Like,
now, mind you, a lot of times we see videos like dudes propose and she says no.
Oof.
Or in certain cases, the woman proposes and the man says no. Is the relationship still valid, or does it have to end? Because in my opinion, I feel like if I propose to you and you say no, the relationship's dead. Like there's no point of being with you.
I respect that.
And the reason why I say that is this is the height of the relationship. And if you say no, it's not, fuck the fact being embarrassed. This is what you're trying to make it official. You get what I'm saying? And if you say no, I think the relationship's over, because this was the peak of it. This is where it's at. So for you to say no means, how do you move on from that? How do you grow from that? So is it safe to say, would I be wrong for saying, well, I proposed to you, I did the whole romantic things, you said no, I'm not upset with you, but clearly I'm not the one for you. this relationship has to end. Would I be wrong for that?
No, of course not. You are entitled to stay or leave. And if
do you think it's important to leave, or do you think they should stay together and work out?
That's
truthfully speaking. I know it's a tough
question to answer, and it really depends because, you know, let's say you propose and she or he says no. Why did they say no? Like, this is something that you guys should have talked beforehand. Like, something that, like, it's not the movies. You know, we have to get this like whole brainwashing out of our head where it's like,
this is real life.
Oh, surprise! Oh my god, I had no idea you were going to propose. Really, you were together for 2 years and you had no idea this person was going to propose? Because at some point you guys had to talk about it. About, do I see a future with you? Oh my god, yes I do. Or you know what? Or if they get a little shady with their answer, like, like they're beating around the bush. Okay, you know, at that moment they don't see a future with you. They just don't know how to tell you.
Yeah,
and you're not wrong for wanting to leave. Okay.
So my other question when it comes to marriage is the ring. Do you feel it needs to be, because some people say, well, it has to be 3 months of what your salary would be. In my case, you know, that's what, $30,000 ring I would have to buy. So
no.
Wait.
No.
This is,
I'm getting nervous.
No, but this is what most women feel like.
No, yeah.
Oh, he needs to spend a good amount of money on the ring because that means he loves me more. So would it matter to you if he spent $500 on the ring?
Can I give him my thought process?
Or $2,000 on the ring?
Let me give him my thought process. It's making me nervous thinking about losing a $30,000 ring. Oh my god, I can't. No, stop. I'm freaking the fuck out. Because you want to know something? You want to see these rings, you guys? Pandora, of course, super cute. I had more rings from Pandora, and you want to know what happened to them? I lost them. So, and it's okay because they were like,
so you wouldn't want an expensive ring. So, but do you would there be a minimum, like, there a minimum requirement of how much he has to spend in the ring to marry you?
I mean, I wouldn't want it to turn green, obviously.
Well, it's not going to be fucking fake.
And I wouldn't want it to be flimsy where it easily breaks.
Does it need to have a rock on it, or can it be like a full white gold?
I want it to be pretty. No gold. I'm more of a silver girl because I look better in silver.
Well, your case would be white gold. But if he want cheap on the ring, would that affect how you feel about him?
No, it wouldn't. I would want him to do his research in terms of like, okay, like it's cheap, but I can guarantee it's durable, you know, for this amount of time. And I'd be like, you know what, I'm okay with it because, you know, oh my god, in like 5-10 years it's gonna run down. Okay, well, you know what, in 5-10 years he's gonna give me a new one, and I'm probably gonna switch it out because you know what, I love rings and rings are super pretty. So if like it's on the cheaper side and like 5-10 years later, you know, oh, it's a little wear and tear, bitch, I'm getting a new one.
So you're okay with him not breaking bread? Because a lot of shorties out here would say, well, no, because if he loved me, he would basically buy me the $30,000 ring. I mean, that's a symbol of our love. And if he goes cheap on it, that means he doesn't love me. Do you think those women are wrong for that?
People are entitled to their opinion. And who am I to shit on their opinion? Like, I think I'll be real with you. I think they're fucking wrong for it. Just be happy with the fact that
I think you should be happy. This person actually wants to give you his last name and make it permanent and be your partner.
Right.
But the fact that you're going to be upset because the ring's not worth money, a lot of shorties think like that. So you think that it's okay to not basically break so much bread on the ring as long as it's.
I would rather have a decent, like a decent amount priced ring, you know, not super expensive, because that.
So it doesn't have to be part of his salary. It just has to be thoughtful and actually
pretty. I want it to be pretty, you know. Like the money that you would have spent on a $30,000 ring, bro. Let's buy a house. Let's put a down payment on a house for that. Like,
you see, a lot of shorties don't think like that. So with that being said, I think, and this is just my opinion, I think if you want me to spend $30,000 on a ring, then you should have to buy me a motorcycle.
Ooh.
Straight up. Like if I'm gonna spend $25,000, $30,000, what are you gonna get me? because we see it all the time.
Dude.
Should women be obligated if the man is spending heavy on the ring? Should they be obligated to buy him a ring of the same caliber or something equivalent? Because I feel like if I'm going to buy you a $30,000 ring as a proof of my love, you should buy me something too, whether it's a motorcycle or some car parts. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to say that.
You know, that's how I feel.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Do you think that's fair?
I think, yeah.
Well, not even fair. Do you think that's equal?
I think it in the partnership in a relationship, she like you're giving her an expensive ring. She should want to give you something meaningful too. You know, like in my eyes, I'm like, damn, $30,000 on a ring, bitch. Take me to Greece. Take me to Greece.
So so you're saying, and this is why I say you're one of the few. You say fuck the ring. You rather take that money and get a property and investment. So to bring it in, my next question on that, because again, we're just going based on what we see and hear all the time. Wedding, like when I was planning, you know,
you're gonna be a maid of homie.
I got you. When I was thinking about it, you know, I'll be real. I even chose my best man and everything. I was ready to go. Unfortunately, it wasn't for me. God basically showed me that, and you know, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with it. But the agreement was not doing a big venue because we actually talked about it. And how I wanted to do it was rent a big mansion, have both sides of the family there, close friends, have everyone stay there, and do it intimately with the people that we love and mean something to our lives. Do you think, because wedding is the biggest scam in this country. And the reason why I say that the average wedding is about $5,000 overseas versus the average wedding is anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 in the United States.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, right? So with that being said, if your man wanted to go to a courthouse, would that make you feel some type of way, or would you at least want to do something romantic?
I would go to a courthouse, but we're taking cute wedding photos. We're having a nice ass honeymoon, and if we gotta rent a little Airbnb with like our close little friends.
Giancarlo says society has turned the ring money value into a thing. This is true. Like I even thought at one point when we talked about rings, we were talking about getting like tattoos on the wedding finger and getting matching tattoos to symbolize our love. Corny, but it was also an option we were talking about before shit ended. So before we close out, final thoughts, love.
Final thoughts. Can you guys imagine Jason in pink? A pink suit.
You would make me wear pink at your wedding?
No.
Salmon. Okay, not pink, salmon. And we can make Lewis the flower girl. You know what I'm saying? Or the flower boy.
Oh my God.
Get him with a little fanny pack, and start throwing out and do like ninja stars and shit.
Man, I want a wedding, but I don't want to pay so much for a fucking wedding. Y'all, have fun eating Chipotle at my wedding, you guys, because in no way am I catering these expensive ass meals, getting salmon and these salads.
You're
and
a different one, yeah.
No.
All right.
No.
So that's our show for y'all, man, today, yo. So we thank y'all for joining us, yo. You know where to find us. Where can they find you, Nate?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram. It's Natalie, 2 I's, 2 E's, _01.
And as you know, man, it's your gearhead Logic. You can find me at Logic142 at Instagram. And make sure if this is your first time, you hit that like and subscribe button. Yo, we got big things coming up. You can come check us out next week, yo. We're going to be on Wynwood, basically doing interviews, getting to know people, get to know your crew, yo. We're actually going to take it to the streets. We want to hear real people with real life situations. We don't walk on the eggshells for nobody. And if you got a problem, let us know. We'll talk about it. And as you know, this has been One Thing for Sure, Two Things for Certain. We love y'all, man. Have a good one.
We love you guys. See you next week.